Okay, the second type of question that you might get are the harder ones. And the reason why it's harder is because you could get a question that doesn't have 1x squared, but you might have 2x squared or 3x squared or something similar. So the example might be, okay, what should we do? Write 2x squared plus 12x minus 1 in the form a x plus b squared plus c, and they might say stating the values of a, b, and c. Okay, so that's our question. Now, the first thing, the reason why it's harder, as I said before, is because we've got two lots of x squared here. And we know from the previous question that we want a single x squared, 1x squared. But we haven't got 1x squared, we've got 2x squared. So what we do as the first step is we write this by taking out a common factor of 2. Now I'm going to use square brackets here just simply so that it separates out what I get inside the square brackets. You'll see in a minute. Now if I take 2 out as a common factor, I have x squared here, making, if I multiply this out, I get 2 times x squared, gives my 2x squared back again. And I've got a common factor of 2, so 12 here, common factor of 2 already, that leaves 6 there. 2 6's making 12. And here, I'm just dividing this by 2, 2x squared by 2 to get 1x squared, 12x squared by 2 to get 6x, so I divide 1 by 2 to get a half. Don't write 0.5 there, it looks ugly. Okay, so all I've done there in that step is take out 2 as a common factor. Okay, once I've done that, I'm going to complete the square inside here. Complete the square in here. Just like type, these are just like type 1, just like type 1 questions like we did earlier. Okay, so let's do that. So we've got our 2 there. We're going to complete the square inside these square brackets. That's why I used square brackets, because we're going to complete the square of this x squared plus 6x minus a half. Remember, the x goes in here. We have half of the coefficient of x, so half of our plus 6 is plus 3. That's going to be squared. We subtract the half that's already there. That's this minus a half here. And we also need to subtract the square of this number. So we're going to subtract 9. That's 3 squared. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to multiply my 2 back inside the bracket. Multiply my 2 back inside. So I'm going to get 2 times this x plus 3 squared. 2 times minus a half is minus 1. And 2 times minus 9 is minus 18. By the way, notice that at this stage, I leave the fractions, because I know that the 2's coming back in and the fractions will cancel out. So we get 2 x plus 3 squared. Minus 1 minus 18 is minus 19. The question told us to state the values of a, b, and c. So a is the number that goes before this squared bracket. So a is 2. That's this 2 here. B is the number inside here. We're taking care of our signs just in case. This is x plus b, x plus 3. So b is obviously 3. And finally, this says plus c. We've got minus 19. So c must be minus 19. Incidentally, if you were asked, the vertex is at the coordinate again. We get x plus 3 equals 0, so we get, or here, x plus 3 equals 0, so we get x is minus 3. So our x coordinate is minus 3. And we read off this value here, minus 19.